Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go for a ride?
Sure, Ken.
Hop in. Did I get it right that time?
This video is so
Take five.
this video, I saw the first 30 seconds of it just now. Oh my god, it's crazy.
So, when we first started dating, you made me listen to this song at least 50 times.
It was so absurd. I loved it.
Just another movie night.
Hey, everybody. I'm Scott.
I'm Barbie. I'm Joe.
Okay.
And I'm having too much fun over here making Scott do try to do the voice of the singer from Aqua, and he just can't. It's
Hey,
hard.
Barbie, let's go party.
It's definitely different.
I'm not a master impersonator.
Well, you pretty much are. I mean, you nailed Sylvester Stallone.
Hiya, Barbie, let's go party. All right, like that.
That's kind of like
I don't know.
if,
Anyways,
if
let's
he
move
went
on.
goofy. That would be it.
We're just another movie night, and this is before and after reviews where we go see a brand new movie in the theater and we talk about it, and we already buried the lead because we're seeing Barbie tonight. And that's only because, well, the argument between me and Joe was, which one are we going to see first? And I wanted to see Oppenheimer, and you wanted to see Barbie. And it worked out in your favor because my movie is extremely long, and I have to go to work.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not like we're not going to see Oppenheimer. We're going to see that also.
I wish we could have done I wish they would have released one of them early so we could have done like a double review.
Yeah.
Because everybody's making that joke about, Barbieheimer, whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know about. We'll talk about that later, I guess. Oppenheimer. It's a long one.
Yeah.
It's a long one. I don't know if we're going late or early, but hopefully earlier to that one.
Yeah, we're going to unfortunately have to say that later.
All right. Anyway, so we're going to go see Barbie. And this is obviously Margot Robbie and
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig. She directed it, right?
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, she wrote and directed, I believe.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. I don't know. Just looking at these trailers for Barbie, it looks funny. It's so ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing. And I can't believe it took this long for them to try and do this. But I don't know. I mean, Margot Robbie, she just fits the part. She really does.
Well, when you say try to do this, what do you exactly think this is?
I mean, so I'm guessing by the trailers that she tries to leave Barbie Land, right? She's stuck in Barbie Land with all the other Barbies of different, I don't know, backgrounds, and she tries to leave, and Ken tries to go with her, and then they go to the real world. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not.
So you think like a comedy?
Yeah, I think it's going to be funny. But I heard things.
So you don't know that this is going to be a giant social commentary?
No, it is. I know.
Okay.
I heard things about it already, just from being on social media. You can't help that.
Oh.
But yeah.
I don't think I could throw. If you're gonna get Greta Gerwig is gonna make write and direct a movie about Barbie, and you're gonna have this cast doing this, and in the trailer there's about 20 Barbies of all different mixed ethnicities and stuff like that. Obviously, this is going to be a very big social commentary on how time's up for the
The
Barbie of old
yeah,
and the
old
Ken of
time,
old.
yeah, old time Ken and Barbie with their little perfection and their dream house and all this. So that's obviously not the real world. So that's I guess that's where they're coming in with them going into the real world.
Yeah, what it seems like to me is I guess the joke is going to be that Barbie is losing her power because she's not, like I said, it's not the old Barbie anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's losing her power, so she goes into the real world and she leaves being Barbie. And I guess that causes hell for the people who make the doll.
Okay.
And whatever happens there.
I mean, it's definitely gonna
Will they?
be. Uh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's gonna be like some kind of statement.
Oh, big
It's not
time.
gonna be at all like. First of all, I heard this is not at all for kids, but I don't know about that. I mean, and you can't have a movie called Barbie and put things in there that won't attract kids. It's just the whole. Even the trailer looks so colorful and it's very inviting. It's like, okay, Margot Robbie looks adorable in the costumes, and that's one area where this movie's going to shine, the costumes for sure. And I think that the two of them together are going to be great together. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of, I guess, worry and concerns, but
Yeah.
it's kind of an odd thing for me to talk about.
You want to tell me some of your concerns? Or you want
Well,
to talk
I
about it
if
later?
if I'm allowed to,
Yeah.
um, I always want to be honest, and I never want to hold back from thoughts. And I don't think people should. I think people should share their thoughts as much as possible. I really don't think that people should ever be told that they're not allowed to say things that they think. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there should be an open commentary for everybody, and everybody's voice should be heard. And I hate
Agreed.
that shit where everybody doesn't want everybody to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Only certain people now are allowed. I think that's a little ridiculous and hypocritical. And so I think that in the movie, if I had to guess, this is going to be one big joke about Ryan Gosling's Ken being a white man and he's stupid, and it's going to be his insecurities, and it's going to be all this stuff that I think it's becoming now like this huge joke stereotype that's very bizarre, because I'm like, aren't we supposed to be getting away from that bullying type of sense of, you know? So it's a little weird, but I understand that me coming from being a white man, it's like, shut up.
So you think that he's going to come off as,
Well, I
like,
definitely think
I
they were.
mean, he's going to be a mimbo.
We saw the trailer, and in the trailer, there's a line of dialogue where he sees a woman, and he doesn't believe she's a doctor, and he's like, "Where's the men? Like, where's the guy? I can't talk to you. No, seriously, where's the guy?" And so I'm like, okay, I get where we're going here, and I'm sure they're probably going to do it on both Barbie and Ken.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a lesson learned at the end of this. This is
Of
the whole
course,
point.
but I don't want it to be like what's her name from The Office, Mindy.
Mindy Kaling, the
She
most
what she
unfunny,
did.
overrated comedian on earth.
People like her. I mean,
Don't get it.
whatever. But what she did with Velma, with her TV show
Yeah.
that she did with Velma, it's like you're going out of your way to do these things where you're alienating people just because now it's like I can turn the tables. Not every single person in a group has done something bad. There's rotten apples in every sense. You know what I mean? I hate that shit. So I kind of wish that we wouldn't do that, but I do understand that this might be really smart social commentary. And there is definitely a lot to be done there. But I feel like with doing these movies, Brady Bunch already kind of did it with that kind of same tone where it's like people of a certain decade or a certain weird mindset now put in our world. It's kind of weird, and it's kind of playing the joke on that, like the old versus the new, and how your old sensibilities are kind of like enough's enough and now we have to move on, you have to grow. That's cool. And but what I'm saying is every time we have one of these properties like this, They keep doing that same thing. I think the Lego movie also did it really well, which is really funny because Will Ferrell isn't both. He's in this movie too. And I wonder if he's going to play the same exact character that he did in the Lego movie, where in the Lego movie, he's like, toys aren't meant to be played with. I collect them and you're not allowed to have fun with them. And it's like, no, it's my sensibility. I'm not allowed to grow up. I'm not allowed to let, other people enjoy things. And I'm wondering if that same thing is going to be done again in this. And I'm like, how many times are we going to do that nostalgia social commentary with using an old property into the new? You know what I mean? Now, it could be hilarious. It could be great commentary. So I don't want to, I'm worried. I'm just worried that I don't want it to go into that realm where it's like, hey, we're going to bully one type of person now because there's a group of people in that. You know what I mean? I can't, I'm not a big fan of that. So it gets me worried about that. Yeah.
I mean,
Just my
here's the
thoughts
thing.
here.
I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. I also, the whole Barbie universe. Like, when I was growing up, I had Barbie dolls, and I never, growing up playing with Barbie dolls, I never thought, oh my God, Barbie, she's perfection. She's what I strive to be. Like, I wasn't one of those kids that, like, even like now as an adult, I don't look back and be like, Barbie's putting out this image that you have to be perfect. Like, I mean, some of the time, like, you would think like, okay, Barbie's putting out a good message where Barbie can be a doctor, she can be a gymnast, she can be an astronaut, she can be anything. And that's what I love, that, Barbie can be anything.
Yeah.
But it's also a perfection thing too. Like, it kind of teaches young girls that Barbie's perfection. And I don't agree with that at all. It's okay to not be perfect,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can be anything that you strive to be. And so it's kind of like a mixed message a little bit. I hope, well, because they're using a beautiful actress naturally, um, I just hope they go that other direction and kind of make it like equally like silly for both sides. Like, if one side is going to get made fun of, they should do it equally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I think it could be done well. I think something in the trailer that makes me think that that might happen is, like I said, there's a joke where there's like 10 other Barbies.
Yeah.
And I really love the actor who plays Shang-Chi is playing a Barbie. And first off, I love that actor. And I'm so glad to see him in more stuff. I'm really excited to see that joke or that message where it's like Barbie could be anybody.
Right. So
You know,
are
and
they
I love
calling
that.
him a Barbie or are they calling him a Ken?
I thought they said Barbie.
Okay, because there are different names for some Barbies. Like, there's Skipper.
Yes, yes.
Like, Skipper is, what was she? She was Barbie's little sister or something. Okay, so I'm just wondering, everybody's a Barbie, but then there's one Ken?
Well, I thought the joke was I think the first trailer we ever saw for this was all the Barbies waking up and going, "Hi Barbie, hi Barbie,"
Yeah,
and he was one of them.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of great. I kind of love that. I love seeing all these diverse Barbies, and and I'm like, obviously the regular the start Barbie is the one that's going to be going through the problem. But I'm like, that's it. I kind of love that. I kind of want to see where they're going to go with it. Unless I'm wrong and it is another Ken.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I just thought they called all the male Barbies Ken. Yes, he's a Ken doll.
Well,
Like,
I think that's the joke though, right? Is that that's not. I mean, unless I'm completely wrong, I
know.
might be. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I
But
mean,
I
maybe-
kind of love the idea that, he is it doesn't matter. And it kind of goes with that idea as what you were saying, that Barbie could be anything.
Yeah.
It is funny about how the mindset of when we were children to now and how people put a stamp on everything now. Because when we were kids, I can only speak for myself, of course, but when I was a kid, I never once thought about any of this stuff. Like, if I had a toy, if it was like a female toy, really remember being like, why can't I play with those? Like
That's
the
funny.
Barbie dolls?
I mean,
Because I was like, I think Barbie wants to hang out with He-Man. And I really didn't understand it. And I actually remember being told, like, no, you can't have a She-Ra. And
yeah.
I was like excited to have some of the female characters for like GI Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being like, oh, I got this character, I got Jinx, and I got Tila and everything from He-Man, and I was like excited about that. And it's just a weird, jarring thing, not even knowing, or not even from then, like not even questioning it.
I mean, I question a lot. Well, when I had Barbies, like I would like I guess like the first time I got a Barbie, I would like how little girls like to dress up in the evening gowns, and I had all these like extra little outfits and little shoes and stuff to put on. So anytime I would dress the Barbie, I'd be like looking like, where's her pee hole? How does she pee? Like, how does she have boobies?
I don't
But she
even-
has no nips.
That's so funny.
Like, it's so weird. Like, they're making her have the shape of a woman, like an hourglass figure and all that, and breasts. But as a kid, I would always be like, how does she go pee or poo? Like, where's her holes?
I don't. It's funny because I cannot remember myself doing that, but I think that's like a very reasonable thing for a child to be asking.
Yes.
And I just don't remember ever wondering about this.
It's just,
like,
I mean, I always wondered, like, as a little girl, and like, I was thinking when I first saw this trailer, I'm like, oh my God, if they're gonna do the, anatomically correct thing, like, or they make them just like the dolls. You know what I mean? Like the actors, like they don't have parts. But it's just it was so weird to me because Ken always had like the butt cheeks and the abs.
yeah.
But he
Didn't they
had like a little bump down there, but
Yeah.
it looked like he was maybe wearing like tan colored tidy whities.
I always thought they looked like underwear.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, they didn't paint it like tidy
but it was skin
whities.
color.
It was skin color.
Skin color underwear.
So, like, also on her, same thing, it seemed, but she didn't have, like, I mean, some of my Barbies, granted, they were probably, Marbies from the dollar store, but she just had, like, nothing. She was just bare skin down there. So I'm like, how does this, what? She has boobies, but no nipples. Like, what is going on with this doll? It was weird. Like,
Don't you love the idea that we were able to undress these things?
I mean, yeah, and it's like kids are curious. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, where's her pee hole? Because
I love how many times you've said it.
Well,
Where's
because
this
it
pee-pee hole
doesn't
on this
make
thing?
freaking sense. When I was a little kid, I had a doll that you would put water in her mouth with a bottle, with a little baby bottle, and then she'd
yeah,
pee
yeah,
it
yeah.
out like baby
Oh,
pees
yeah.
a lot or
Was
some
it,
shit. It's
the Wetsy doll.
Betsy Wetsy or whatever. And so I would have a doll like that would pee it out and have like a little toilet and everything. I'm like, my Barbie doesn't do this.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would they make this doll like this and then this other doll like that? It's weird. So I hope they do something like that in this movie where they're like, okay, it's just going to be like the real dolls that you buy in the store. Because it's just funny.
So funny.
Like if they try to like have sex and like there's no fucking holes.
This conversation has hit every mark. I don't even know where we are anymore.
There's like things that I have unresolved issues as a kid. I need to know how Barbie went to the bathroom.
You couldn't even bend her legs. She couldn't even sit, right?
I mean, in the fucking
just,
dream house, there was a bathroom. Why did
and her
she
feet
have...
would stick straight out, as I recall.
And there's like little, like, you could put undies and stuff on her. Like, you could put clothes. Like, I didn't understand.
When I was a kid, I wanted to have my GI Joes in the Barbie house because they were so badass. And I was like, damn, that house is cool looking.
Oh my
I got this
God.
really stale Castle Grayskull over here. It has no room, no seating. And then look at that. There's a whole oven. There's a kitchen in there. The
Oh
GI
my
Joes need to
God.
cook. What do they need to eat?
So freaking funny. Like I had a like a little house and it had a freaking bathroom. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like put her in the toilet and let her sit there? Like she doesn't even pee.
I keep thinking about how bad I wanted. You're still on this peeing
What are
thing.
we talking about?
I wanted a what's the oven?
The Easy Bake
The
Oven.
Easy Bake
Okay, that
Oven,
stuff
and
tastes like shit.
yeah, but I didn't want it to cook. I think I just wanted to mess up the toys. Like I wanted to boil them.
You know who you are? You're Sid from Toy Story.
I
And you know
was
he had
said
red
dad.
hair too. He's a ginger too.
That's me, and
Evil
I'm a
ginger.
jerk. I already went on a whole rant about my worries about white men.
No, I do agree with you.
I feel like saying that is terrible.
No,
And
it's not
I don't
terrible.
want
It's
people to
not.
be like upset, but I just don't like this viewpoint of alienating different kinds of people. Like that's isn't that what we should be getting away from? That creating boundaries between each other. Like I hate it.
Yeah, it's
I
just
wish that we could
constant
stop.
divide. It's like
Yeah.
stop dividing everybody. That's why we're in this freaking world the way it is. But
I
like
agree.
I think maybe because sometimes the trailers can be deceiving.
Well,
So
no. If I'm guessing here, if I'm betting here, hon, there's no way that this movie's not going to be one giant social commentary
oh no no no.
metaphor.
Okay, I agree. There's going to be a lot of that. Yeah. But are we gonna have some fun in there and lightheartedness? You know, like can they make fun of themselves and each other at the same time,
Yeah.
not just picking on one side?
Well,
You know, can they do that?
yeah, I think they can, and I'm going to say, I'll just say this. I'm going to put it out there. I think I'm going to enjoy this film.
I feel like how can we not? I mean, I think that the visuals on it are gonna be just so like it's gonna be senses overload
Yeah.
because of the visuals, you know, just everything, even in just the preview with the cute cars and the the house and just the all the backdrop and everything like that. I think that's gonna be
Yeah.
sensory overload.
And I already brought up beforehand about all my the properties of movies that were already brought into the future. Like the characters are still in the past, but they're in the future. You know, I just brought that up a little bit ago
Yeah.
about Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
I think
I
they're
think Brady
great.
Bunch 2 is hilarious. I think The Addams Family 2 is hilarious. And it's the same thing. The characters haven't changed, but they're in present time. And I think it works every time. I don't know why I really enjoy that concept. And so this makes me think that this might be good. But and also it's got a stellar cast and a good director going on with it. So I'm looking forward to it. But my big question to you is, right, and we have to ask each other this. We got to talk about this. Why is this such a phenomenon? Like, I think this movie's going to smash box office stuff,
It's definitely going to, yeah.
but I'm confused. All right, so as of this recording right now, Mission Impossible is doing terrible. Now, I'm Tom Cruise, like, he's putting his life on the line for everybody. Like, hey, I want to entertain. That's all he's trying to do. And no one's going. But now Barbie is, I think, selling out. And I have this feeling that it's going to break the box office from everything else, like,
Oh,
going on.
Yes, it is going to, and that's
And
because,
why?
uh, well, because it's curiosity is what it is. It's like you've never seen Barbie has not really been done on screen before in this fashion with these big actors and this big set design and all that. It hasn't been done before, and Barbie is an icon. I mean, she's been around for since what, the 1940s, 50s?
Yeah, but will the younger generations understand that? Or do you think the younger generations are like, this looks absurd and I need to know what it is? Because, or do you think it is what I was talking about before, that the new generations are more of, I want to see that commentary?
I think so. Like if you're getting into like the teenagers these days,
Yeah.
I think they're more into that. Yes, but when you see a preview like this, a trailer in the movie, in a movie theater, you see a trailer that looks like this. It like I said, it's like sensory overload for anyone because you're like, oh my God, look at this. It's like ridiculous and looks funny and it looks beautiful at the same time. So you go in curious, and that's why I'm curious. I was a little girl
Yeah.
once, and I love Barbies, and I still own Barbies to this day. So it's just an icon, and to see Margot Robbie, and she's
Well, look, that's that you brought up some good things that I was trying to say. Like I think that Barbie, you're saying nostalgia for you and the certain generations.
yeah, it's nostalgia for certain
But there's
generations.
a lot of the people who are going to the movies these days are not going for nostalgia.
No, they're going for
They're
spectacle.
they're going for something else, and that's why I was trying to hammer in what exactly would make this movie very, very popular. And you said Margot Robbie, and that's another interesting thing to talk about because people don't really go to see her movies. The Harley Quinn movies, the Suicide Squad sequel that James Gunn did, they didn't make that much money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you look at her, she looks the part. I
Yeah,
mean, she looks the part, and
yeah.
also the trailers are doing a good job because they're showing you every little thing that is like, it's pow pow. Like wow, look at the outfits, look at the house, look at the car, everything. And like people that are like my age that grew up playing with these Barbies and stuff, that's like, oh my God, like to see that on the big screen, like especially when they showed her in that black and white striped bathing suit that's like pinup Barbie from like the 1950s. It's like the first Barbie.
Hmm.
That it just blew my mind when I saw that.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
that's
I was like, oh my God, because not only am I like a huge fan of like pinup culture, but it's fucking Barbie and she looks exactly like her. It was crazy.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's definitely for you with the nostalgia.
that's
I already
nostalgia.
understand that,
Yeah.
but that's not who's
I
going
mean,
to
there's
the
going to be
theaters.
tons of men being dragged by their wives and girlfriends to this. They're
It,
not going to want to see it.
well, that's interesting, right? Because yeah, if nostalgia was the heavy moneymaker, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, Transformers, they would have made money, but they're
No,
bombing.
here's the thing, okay? There's a difference between an 85-year-old man running around with a whip in the same exact outfit he did when he was 20. Oh, there's a difference there, okay? He's
Okay,
80 years old. It's like,
I don't
all
think that
right,
was a bad
you
example. That
know.
was just a
But yes,
nostalgia.
there is a lot of
There's a
nostalgia,
yeah.
which is why I wanted to see Indiana Jones, even though the last one was not good. But this situation, this has not been done before. We've already had five Indiana Jones movies.
Okay. Well, it was
Barb,
always a movie. It was never a toy first. It was just me talking
right?
about trying to remember the movies recently that were bombing with nostalgia.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I don't think this is gonna bomb. Like I think like you said it correctly. I think it's gonna knock the socks off everything at the box office,
I'm
simply because
I
of
don't
the.
want that to be true though.
I mean, you haven't seen it yet, so you can't
True,
judge.
true,
Okay,
true,
you
true,
might
true.
come out of there being like, "That was fun as hell." It could be just like, just a fun ride. I mean,
I
it's not going to
think.
be Oscar worthy.
Well, I have a feeling this will be nominated for best costumes,
Well,
so it's gonna be an Oscar
I
movie,
mean,
regardless.
if that's the case, fine, because as what I saw in the trailers, it looks great with the costumes. They nailed it. But I mean, it's probably just going to be like, just like you said, social commentary. They're going to try and make a point. They're going to try and say that, Barbie doesn't necessarily mean you have to be perfect, that you can be anything you want. And you know, I think it's going to be fun. I just think it's going to be a fun ride. I'm not going in thinking, oh, this is going to be stupid as hell. It very well might be stupid, but it also might be a fun ride, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When I say that I don't want it to be, I just want to clarify that what I don't want is that the CG crazy movies that are making a lot of money these days. I don't want it to. It's going to shape the box office in a weird way,
Yeah.
and movies are going to change. And what I've seen is like movies that with stunts and like in acting and like big, like actual practical effects are not being seen, and the crazy CG like heavy commentary, like this force stuff. I think it's starting to become way too like saturating, and it's shaping the market, and I'm a little worried about it. But that's only because I think that's just my sensibility of like I like people making practical movies and making something without having to CG overload it. And
Yeah, but you can't attribute that problem to this particular movie alone. I mean, it's been
we'll
happening
see.
for a while now, and it affects every film.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But when, if like say that this movie like Oppenheimer is going to probably be this big thing, right? I'm just going to guess with this movie, it's Christopher Nolan. It's got so much star power on it. It's probably going to be an Academy Award nominated best movie, right? Without a doubt, probably. And I just have a feeling that it's going to make no money compared to Barbie. And I think that's kind of like, sometimes I just get a little like, that's a shame.
It just has the same feel as like, okay, the Fast and the Furious. People keep going to see these movies.
I agree.
They keep going.
How's
It's
the Fast and the
something
Furious make more money than Mission Impossible did in its opening?
because
It's insane.
it's just like I said, it's just a fun ride. People don't want to go and be miserable and depressed and think about real world problems. They want to sit there and watch fast cars and Vin Diesel and
Well,
you know.
apparently they do want to see real world problems, and that's why I think that this movie is going to be an interesting like after we see it, I think the conversation is going to be really interesting.
Well, yeah, same. I believe that too. But when you're watching a trailer like that, you're not as a like a regular moviegoer, you're not thinking automatically this is going to make some kind of a statement. All you're thinking is, "Wow, look at that. Look how goofy they look in those costumes. This is going to be a hoot." Because I mean, my first reaction on that trailer, the very first time I saw that teaser with her coming over the mountain with the little girls playing the dolls and with the ball, the Barbie dolls, and she comes over the mountain with that swimsuit on, I was like, "Oh, you are kidding me! That is fucking fantastic."
What is it? The 2001?
Yeah,
They
that
did the
one.
whole-
Yeah, and I was like, that is so.
That's what made me want to see this.
Yeah, like, and then you see the trailers. After that, a couple more came out.
We still haven't seen much. Kind of got an idea what's going on, but not
it
much.
just looks ridiculous. It's like so ridiculous that you have to see it because
True.
it's going to be so silly. It's going to be so silly and fun, and it's just going to be all the actors are just going to be having the time of their lives on that screen. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they're likable people.
I guess I should just ask you, what is your thought your score is going to be when it come out?
I don't want to do my usual predictable thing. I think I'm really going to like it, so I'm going to say that I'll probably come out with a 7.
My mind is going to that as well.
Yeah, I think we're really going to like it. And whether there's a lot of social commentary or no social commentary, or
so-
maybe it's a dupe or whatever. Maybe it's just a big ball of fun. And, I think there's going to be equal parts, like, you're a bimbo type deal, like they're going to be making fun of each other. I don't think it's just going to be geared towards, men are dummies. I don't think that, because Ken is like, he's he reminds me of Johnny Cage.
I totally see that.
Like superstar, like, "Hey man, I'm in the room. Let me get my sparkly shades on." Like
I can see that.
It's just funny.
I think my what I was trying to say before was just trying to get deeper with what they might do, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far
See,
with
that's
my
the thing.
thought on that. But
There's gonna be social commentary, but to go deeper and like turn Barbie into like a gloom and doom situation,
No.
I mean they're
no,
both
but I think they're
it's gonna be a lesson here.
it's going to be a
'cause-
huge lesson.
Yes, she's gonna be like, okay, life is not all, disco parties and baking, and he's gonna be like, okay, life is not all, super hot chicks and, tweed pants or whatever,
I think you're generalizing what the message will be, but I think yours is like a way smaller version of what it will be. And I'm
don't think
pretty
so.
sure I'm going to be right on this.
There's
but
gonna be some lessons learned here, but it's
I
not
could
gonna
guess
be
right now,
like
but I'm
this-
not going to say what I think
No,
it is. But
I don't want to speculate any further. We're gonna come out of here with a 7. Watch, okay?
I probably will, because I like social commentary and I like it and I want it. I love when movies use smart commentary, especially on a toy.
Yeah.
What a really genius idea, and I love the idea. I just don't want them to constantly make
Men feel like
not only men. And I hate saying that. I hate doing that because we're dummies. But like, let's. Everybody's got their dumb
But women
quirks
can
and
be
stupid
dummies
things, and that's what I'm
too.
trying to say. And it's just like, don't divide it and just keep on this negative viewpoint and keep hammering it in forever.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to be like that. Not everybody,
I think
that's
you're
what I'm kind of saying.
speculating, and
But
I think your concerns are valid points. But I think it's unwarranted here because I think this is just going to be a funny, crazy ride with fun costumes and two very likable lead characters because we love Ryan Gosling. I think he's adorable. He's just adorable. So, and he has the ability to be funny without being over the top. And I love that about him. So, I'm excited to see this movie. I can't wait.
all right, let's go see it.
Since the beginning of time, since the first little girl ever existed, there have been dolls. But the dolls were always and forever baby dolls. Until...
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie!
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
With the radio blast and goes cruising just as fast as she can now.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend-boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure. Oh, looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
Beat both of us off?
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
And we're back. We just saw the Barbie movie. We saw it.
We did it.
We did it.
And I would love to hear your thoughts first.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Because I've been waiting this whole time. We have not spoken to each other about it. So, go.
Well, first off, I think I should point out a couple of things. One, I was right in the before. I should shut my mouth. Because I kind of spoke about some things that, in my worries, I think while I'm justified, this movie approached that in a way where it was interesting. Although I will call out, there are some weird, I would say, problematic ideas there that I feel like are kind of one-sided in scope, but I know that's what the movie was really about. But I think my concern about this idea that as we move forward in the world that guys are just garbage people, I get it. I get it. I did, like, I think that's an issue, and as a man, yeah, I
Okay.
know, of course it's an issue as a man.
I'm just gonna interject and say right now that there are also many women on Earth that are garbage people. It's not just men.
No, but I'm saying that there is a generalization that men,
That men are dogs. Men are, yeah.
that men are like, just like garbage. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, I was worried in my before that was going to be a huge part of this movie, and I think I was 100% right with that.
Well, they did make commentary about it. Yeah.
Not just a little.
I didn't say a little.
no.
I said they did make commentary.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to say that
Yeah.
you did or anything. Yeah, that was my concern, and I wish I would shut my mouth because I feel like I'm going to put my foot in my mouth when I complain about things like this, and I kind of said that a little bit, like, as a man, it's kind of hard to even talk about that.
Well, can I stand up for you for a moment, please? Or stand up for all men?
Don't stand up for all men.
Well, I don't think it was fair. Okay, there was a lot of like commentary in this movie about how basically it's Barbie's dream house, not Ken's dream house. So just take that and add to it in your imagination. It's they kind of went out of their way to make it seem like Barbie's everything and Ken's crap. So the women don't need the men. And kind of vice versa too, a little bit. They commented on that.
There's a problematic thing in the middle here.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about off air, because I'm not gonna talk about it, because I don't think, like I said, I feel like even trying to mention it is kind of like a discussion that will cause anger.
I agree.
And I did think it was a little bit of a problem in the idea of what this movie is going for. Now, that all being said, and I just wanted to throw it out there, and also I will also point out that I was completely wrong with my assumption that I don't want to butcher this actor's name, but Simu Lee?
Yes, Simu Liu, I think.
Is it Simu
Is it
Liu?
Liu or Lee?
I already did it.
It's
I already
Liu.
butchered it.
Simu Liu.
Okay, he's fantastic.
Love
I
him.
don't know why he's not in more things. I suspected that he was Barbie, that he was going to be a male, maybe like a transgender Barbie. You
Okay.
know, like I thought that was a
Which-
thing, but I was wrong.
I completely didn't want to call you out on that in the beginning because when you say transgender, no Barbies have any genitalia.
No, that's absolutely true. But I just thought maybe I didn't know what they were going to do, and I shouldn't have said transgender. I meant more like just I don't know how to explain it. I just thought he was like a male Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. I thought that the movie was going to kind of do that, that tackle that a little bit. I was wrong, but that actor is so fantastic, and I thought he was really really funny in this. But now all of that being said, I got all my I'm an idiot kind of stuff out of the way. That all being said, this was more fantastic than it should have been. I actually really, really enjoyed this film, and I will say that the message was quite beautiful at the end. There was some stuff that kind of bothered me a little bit, which I knew was going to be a thing, but when it needed to be, it was so much more than it could have been. Like, there is an ending message here about life that is really damn beautiful, and just having a person say, "I never expected this to be this," and yeah, wow, I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I will admit that there are some elements here in the middle that I felt like it kind of sagged or went a little too far, but I love the messages. What a great metaphor for life than using a doll and just saying, like, it's kind of just all together, all the great commentary of being boxed in and being, chained up into being a certain thing and being in that box. I think that was a really, really clever, thought out metaphor for it. And I also really, really respected that they said something about, I never, life is hard enough. And then having all the things that humans do to themselves with, like, problematic things about how they think about themselves. And then even a doll can't be respected. I thought that was really, really smart commentary. Mm-hmm. And it also, I'm gonna say, just give Mattel some credit here for allowing this much interesting stuff to go on and them to poke fun at themselves.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but no, Mattel, I'm going to give them,
I'm sorry, you asked.
I'm going to give them a freaking high five, because Mattel actually went out of their way. They went out of their way to make fun of themselves, and not only just make fun of themselves, but to almost insult the company as a whole. You know what I mean? Like what they stand for. They made fun of themselves and they insulted themselves and that at the end everything was redeemed. Like it.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like made they kind of like smoothed it over, I guess. But it was this. I thought that they did a good thing here. Like because I know that they've gotten some flack over the years about Midge and some of the other Barbies that are like, okay, this sends the wrong message to young girls. So they've gotten flack for that in the past. And when I say past, I mean like, back in the day. Like what was that, in the 80s? Maybe
constantly.
early 90s.
They're still getting flack.
But like,
that's what this movie is about.
They've created some things that even they questioned, and they're just like, whoops.
Yeah.
And they made fun of themselves for that. So, they made a point of pointing that out and saying like, oh yeah, we discontinued that one.
Yeah, there's some,
they really did go out of their way, and I actually want to give them a high five for actually letting this movie get made and how they got it made. So
doing that fine balancing act between tribute to what they've created and the person who created it, while also poking fun at the whole concept in general.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, and I love what they did. I mean, I knew they were going to do the things that they're going to point out that Barbie can be anything. Barbie can, do anything. She's Barbie. She's a queen, she can do anything. And I'm really glad that they addressed the non, I guess, anatomically correct. Yeah,
there wasn't more of it. I was actually surprised.
They did address that, and that's what I was saying in the before reviews, that I need them to address the fact that they don't have genitals, and so they did that. And so I thought that was great. And but I will say this, and I'm gonna let you take over, or
I already
chime in whenever. But I will say this, that there is a couple things in this movie that bothered me with the social commentary aspect of it. There's also, I don't understand why Will Ferrell was in this movie. I'm going to say Will Ferrell was the least funny he's ever been. I did not find him funny at all.
He's playing that character way too much.
Yes. Yeah. And
I think I brought that up in the before with the Lego movie. It's like the same character. And
the
also
CEO.
That one he made with Ryan Reynolds where he's like Scrooge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same character.
I mean, he's just not in this movie. He completely just let me down a bit, because I just,
it's hardly in it though.
Like I was expecting his scenes to be something because he's Will Ferrell and he makes me laugh, but I think he was the least funny he's ever been. But I have to also, another high five is, I have to tell you that I just love Ryan Reynolds, or Ryan Gosling. I thought he did such a good job, and he just went with it. He just freaking threw caution to the wind and said, I'm gonna do this. And some of his scenes, I was like, what is happening? And I just couldn't help but laugh. I laughed so much during this movie, more than I thought I would. So it was funny. It was actually very funny. And there were some little things in there that I was like, oh, I remember that. I had that toy. So it was very nostalgic also. But yeah, so feel free to chime in anytime. I can go on.
Well, I mean, what I was saying in the opening, I was hoping you were gonna comment back on some of it, but I will say that you brought up the social commentary problem. It did a really, really clever use of it. I really enjoyed a lot of it. I would just say that it's one of those things that sometimes there's a floodgate. I feel like once you start doing one thing or saying one thing, the floodgate opens up, and then you kind of find yourself in a hole that it can never end. And so while you're making a comment about something else, the thing you're also creating is the exact same thing as what you're creating, talking about. And it becomes like this circle that is like never ending, to the point where the movie is like, there's a really great statement kind of about how we create so much problems for ourselves.
Yes.
and then while also kind of creating the problems for themselves. It's an odd circle, and I don't think there is any solving it. And I think it's just a weird thing that we do to ourselves. But I was able to appreciate that message regardless of how I felt about that and never-ending spiral. But I will say I loved it. You didn't bring up this ending that I was talking about as how you felt
Oh, about the ending of the film?
about the message about life.
I thought it was beautiful, but I also thought it was a little bit misleading. I know I can't
You
say
can't do spoilers, but yeah, I mean,
but yeah, I'll have to talk to you about it after. But I don't know, I thought the message at the end was really beautiful, but it was almost like, see, I can't say anything. I just can't say anything. But yeah,
all right.
I really do like seeing there's a special person that shows up at the end that you'll notice if you guys have ever watched any TV. And
That's not necessary. I mean,
no,
that
but
you-
I mean, but yeah, it was just a nice moment between the two of them. I can't comment much on it because I can't say any spoilers, but I thought it was a good ending.
Uh, yeah, overall, like, I mean, well, not even overall. There was a lot of great acting, a lot of great characters. There was a running great joke with Michael Cera.
Yeah, Michael Cera.
Actually, very funny.
I mean, he had no earthly business being in this movie.
It was perfect. He was perfectly casted as that character. I loved it.
Like, why? Why? I mean,
Oh.
he even looked creepy.
There was a bit at the end, well, there was a bit near the end with him,
Oh my god.
and I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
I thought it came out of nowhere, and I loved it. Like, I love those jokes. Some of those jokes were really impressive. I thought a lot of the there's like choreography, the costumes, the set design. It really nails what it's going for, and they kept coming up with clever ideas throughout.
Yeah, the costumes in
they
this
never-
movie were amazing.
They never stopped with the creative thing. Again, where I said it sags for me, the problem in the movie that made me not like it more, which I think it could have easily fixed it, was that, like, so I mean, you've seen the trailer, you already know, but like Barbie in the real world, which is like the concept, which is everybody's seen. It guys are like, the stereotypes are like all like there, like the construction workers, and that's where I was like laughing. I was like, this is a little too much.
I mean, it's a little
I know what
too
they're
much.
going for, but it's like,
See, this is where I like got a little annoyed because there's a scene, and this is not a spoiler. It's not a big deal, but there's a scene where Barbie gets smacked on her tush by a guy.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's one of
first
the
of all,
moments.
okay, give me a fucking break, please. I'm like, she's standing there, and some guy smacks her ass. Okay, first of all, that is like
the most heightened.
the most
Yeah.
heightened thing. Like, I mean, and Ken doesn't even be like, hey.
Well, he doesn't understand,
You know?
which it makes sense that they don't get it, but
I understand that they're not in their world, and I do get it. But it seems like in this movie, Barbie becomes really self-aware really fast. And that
Well,
was
yeah,
the only thing that I mean, one of the major things that I got upset
that
about.
was the part of the story it was attached to what's going on. But I think what's interesting to me is the heightened so they go out of their way to say the real world. This is the real world. And in the real world, there's a couple things that are so heightened and a little out of control. One of those being all the men that she's first interacted with are completely cartoon character men. Mm-hmm. Like, just out of...
You mean all the Kens?
No, when she's in the real world. I'm talking about how they make the real world... They're trying to say this is what the real world's like and how different it is from Barbie's world.
Yeah.
But while doing that, they actually turn it up like to 11. So the real world isn't even that realistic. It's like a completely out of control version where all the men are just like disgusting, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And like nobody's nice.
And you know what's
And-
funny too is like in the real world, people on Venice Beach, seeing them on rollerblades in their ridiculous outfits. I mean, yeah, they would have something to say about that, and they do in this movie. But I just noticed the lack, like, of nobody, like in the real world. Anyone sees something like that, they're gonna take out their phone and record it because that's all you freaking see now. Is like people are just got their faces in their phones.
Well, they made like 100 people reacting to them.
There's no like nobody taking pictures or cell phones or whatever. I was like, okay, so if you're gonna go as so far as to have a guy smack her butt and go that, that's like ridiculous.
Yeah, and another one too about the heightened reality part of the movie. The Mattel building is like something out of a Terry Gilliam movie all of a sudden, where it's another thing that doesn't feel like it's actually real world, that it's some other kind of, that's where I think the movie kind of, it plays with that too much. Like, the movie is trying to go out of its way to show you how real world and how this dreamland looks, right? And so they're trying to show you the side-by-side comparison. But when we go to the real world in the movie, things go to like a cartoon version of the real world, which kind of ruins the idea of it. And beyond what we were just talking about with the guys, when they go to the Mattel, everybody's working in like a circular box. It's something out of like a Terry Gilliam movie. Like it's so
and they're like all wearing the same
surreal.
outfit too. What's going on? Like,
even in the Mattel office where Will Ferrell is in this movie, right outside the window is like the Hollywood sign. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
Everything, it almost looks like we're still in it. And I guess they're trying to show you that like Mattel is some kind of our version of it. But when you do that, you're kind of like ruining your idea of what the real world is versus what you're doing. So it's like they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like they're playing with a concept while also kind of stepping on it a little bit. So that was a little weird for me. There was a couple moments of that where I was like, that's kind of missing the mark, but I still was able to enjoy it. But literally, those are the things that bothered me, and that's not that much.
No, I mean, I there's so much that I enjoyed about it, and I did, like I said, I did laugh a lot. It was very corny, and the costumes were great, and the actors were fantastic. I mean, you did feel like you were in a plastic world.
Yeah, yes, I agree. We didn't get to talk about the real great characters in the movie, the real good people. Margot Robbie's fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
She's great.
She really embodies the whole thing.
I can't unhear the Harley Quinn voice. I don't know if you have that problem with her.
No, I did not hear Harley Quinn in this.
I always hear her doing it because I think that her real accent, right?
She's Australian.
Yeah, so when she does like an American accent, it's kind of like that Brooklynish accent that she's doing. It's like a weird.
Right, she's Australian. Am I wrong? No.
I think she is.
Yeah, she's Australian. But like we've heard her speak normally, and she's.
I always hear a little bit of it. It always just loosens up.
No,
for me for some
I don't.
reason.
I don't hear
I've
Harley Quinn at all. I think it's just your imagination running wild.
I don't know, but whatever. She's great.
She's great. Ryan Gosling is. I mean, he doesn't even give a shit. He's just like, I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah, he was definitely willing to poke fun at himself.
Yes.
But Kate McKinnon.
Poor Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon is so
and talk
great.
about willing to make fun of yourself.
I mean, yeah, there was like some. Okay, well, this is not a spoiler. She's weird Barbie, and she's in the trailer.
I think she's in a trailer.
Yes, she's weird Barbie. They're so mean. The Barbies are mean to her, but like, I mean, they're not like vicious, but she's the odd Barbie. So. But she was great. Everybody was great in this movie. I mean, everybody, they did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired. Another thing that kind of aggravates me is like, I'm so tired of the cliche of the teen daughter that hates her mom for no reason. And she's just a little brooding shit. And she's just angry for no reason because she's a teenager and she can be. And like the way she treats her mom and... It's just like, okay, I'm sick of that freaking cliche. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I noticed it too, and I will say though that here it was needed for the story to make more sense and to go where they were going with things. I get it, but yes, I agree that we weren't even given a reason why she was so like the daughter is kind of a jerk, and they even tell you in school that she's a jerk.
Oh my God, there's
And so
so many like insults to like. I mean, there's a scene where Barbie goes to her school and her friends are there, and they're so mean. They're just out and out mean. Teenagers are fucking mean. Okay, I don't care. I said it. They are so judgmental and rude.
yeah,
And it was just like I'm tired
not
of this.
all of them, but
I mean,
yeah,
in a lot of them
Yeah,
are. They're just like, ugh. And so of course that cliche is like, I'm gonna hate my mom and I'm just gonna be like so brooding and my life sucks and I don't have like an iPhone or everything I could possibly want in life and I'm just gonna act like my life sucks. That cliche, tired of it. I'm just tired of it. So yeah,
did you get it out? Do you feel better?
I got it out. I got out the rage. Tired of it.
I get why they did it here, but yeah, I agree. They made her a little too much without an explanation of why.
Yeah, there's absolutely no explanation of why she was a little asshole to her mom. None whatsoever. There was,
It could have been easy fix too. It could have been an easy fix.
and there was a couple of moments in the movie where they said negative things about men, and then also like it just seemed like there was a little bit more negativity towards the men than the women had to put up with. And this was like definitely a women empowerment movie, definitely. Not only because it's Barbie, but also because I think it has a lot to do with that it was directed by a woman.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I get it. I get why it needs to be done because there is, of course that's a problematic thing. Of course that is. And it definitely needed to be explored. I just think that sometimes it gets out of control to the point where it feels like it's making monsters. But this, I will say here, they went out of their way to say, there's other layers here. They actually went out of their way to say this isn't just about female empowerment. Mm-hmm. Although that's a huge part of what they're trying to talk about here.
Yeah, I get it.
They did go further with it, and they did talk about, it should be about other things, and it should be about opening up, and it should be, and then it was about life in general. And I was like, wow, movie. Like, that's what I was saying in the beginning. It didn't need to go as far as it did with such a small concept. They went big, and they went out of their way, and I thought, good on them. Because I was very shocked how smart some of the stuff at the end was.
This movie was definitely not just about costumes and set pieces, even though those two things were fabulous. I mean, they were... Margot Robbie literally can wear anything she wants. Put her in a potato sack and she can rock it. I mean, she just looks so beautiful in everything that she wears. And Ryan Gosling, I mean, he just exudes like fun. Fun. That's what he does. But overall, there are some problems with this. I'm not gonna lie. I do have like their little jabs that they took here and there against men, and then a couple of jabs they took against women. I don't know. There was equal jabs here, I think, but it kind of annoyed me a little bit, and I guess we could talk about that later. But I felt like overall this movie was pretty fun. It's a pretty fun movie.
I was going to ask you real quick because you had mentioned before about this not being a kids movie. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I was interested in what you thought after watching it because I noticed that, sure, a lot of the jokes might not make sense for a child, but I thought a kid could watch this.
Yes. I mean, there is no, there's little to no, like, real sexuality, there's no swearing.
There's just metaphors.
It's just...
And some commentary that kids wouldn't get.
Yeah, little like children would not understand what the point is that they're trying to make. They don't.
Yeah.
They're too young to understand the point they're trying to make here. And all they're going to really get out of this, if you take a small child to see this, is like, oh my God, look at pretty Margot Robbie and her pretty dream house and her pretty clothes and, just the set.
Then it got old, I guess. Yeah.
The sets and the funny costumes and stuff that they were wearing. And it was, that's what they're going to get out of it, the kids. But it's...
Depending on how old they are, I'm saying. But I think that there are some kids out there that there's some stuff in here about bullying and about being strong and doing, being something else, and about mothers and daughters. And there's some things I was like, oh, you know what? This is good. I'm actually happy about this for kids. But there are some weird things that went into that problematic thing that I was like, ooh, that is a little weird.
That's what I'm saying.
For sketchy for kids. But
yeah,
and that usually that had more to do with how to control the opposite sex. But yeah, it was a little strange.
Right,
but
it's stuff that kids won't get. Like it was a little too adult at some point.
Well, like I mean, that's like a 5-year-old wouldn't get that. But I mean, I think a 10-year-old or like a 15-year-old is going to get that stuff.
Oh, the teenagers, yeah.
Yeah, 12-year-old. They're going to see that and be like, oh.
Yeah. But overall, I don't know. I mean, there's some problems with this. But overall, I think it a little bit of one of the problems that I have is that it kind of just went a little too far to make a point. I think they pushed it too much.
I'm surprised how far off we seem to be in what we're going to say for our reviews.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of problems that I have with this. I can't say anything to you right now that I want to tell you, like make a point without giving away spoilers.
I was sure that you were maybe almost crying at the end, but you don't seem to be.
Oh, I was not moved. I mean,
Wow.
I was moved, but I wasn't like moved to tears like the lady next to me.
I don't blame her. There was some pretty stuff at that end.
Yeah, the ending was nice. It was nice, but there were some things in there that kind of got me upset.
Wow, so give me this review. Give me the score. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
I had a good time with this movie. I liked it a lot. I didn't love it.
Wow. I can't believe it.
I didn't love it. I mean, I thought it was cute, and I liked everything Margot Robbie did. I thought she was great, but I didn't love it. I didn't, and
I'm so floored. Not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
So what are you giving it?
I mean, like I said, I had a great time with it, and I liked it. So I'm gonna give it a 7, not an 8. A 7. It's a 7. Yeah. I have issues with it. I do. But overall, it was a fun time. I laughed a lot.
I am very surprised at myself. I am giving this movie an 8.
Okay.
I was very impressed with some of this movie. And I really love the end messages. I thought it was really pretty.
Yeah.
And I thought it was nice and shockingly wholesome in a time where even the movie referenced how fucked up the world is. And I think that kind of needs stuff like that, and I hardly ever see a really nice message.
Well, see, I didn't think they referenced how fucked up the world is enough. I don't think they referenced how messed up our world is.
I think they did. I think they did it in a different way, like a metaphorical way with Kens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I can see that, but I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to hear everybody's thoughts on this, but there's too many things that I can say that kind of annoyed me in this to give it an 8. But overall, I did have a good time. Like I said, I laughed a lot, and I thought the costumes were great. The set pieces were amazing, and everything about the actors was great. There was nothing that I would change about the actors. They were great. But there's just a couple of little things in there I would change. Like I said, the cliche of the daughter and, the mom, and there's some cliches in there. But we could talk about that later. Giving it a 7. It's a good review.
Okay.
It's a good rating. A 7 out of 10 is good.
Of course.
It's good. It's just, I don't think it's on that level of 8 because there's some things that bother me. That's all.
Mm-hmm. There was things that bothered me too, and that's why I said this might have been like an instant, like, holy shit, like this is pretty damn great. If it wasn't for these really big sagging things in the middle there, and there are some problems with that. I do have questions, and I do have a little bit of a problem that knocks it down. But overall, the message is, I think, pretty damn good, and I think it's a brilliant way to give love to both the property, the creator, the mothers, women, like just people and life. I was like shocked. I was like, wow, they're doing some really impressive stuff. So I would. This is one I can't. I will be watching this again one day, and enjoying myself. So
I'm definitely going to watch this again. When it comes to streaming, I'm going to watch it. Yeah. And maybe I'll feel differently. Maybe I'll, find, like, this is like just me coming out of it just, 10 minutes ago. And that's my first reaction. I really think that once I have time to settle in and think about it and watch it again, maybe I'll change my rating. But right now it's a 7. It's not higher than a 7 for me.
Okay. All right. Do you want to fight me?
I do want to fight you.
You just want to punch each other? All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, as always. And as always, you can find us on social media at me at Just Another Movie Night and Joe at Crafty Misfit, at The Crafty Misfit. And we always want to hear from everybody and fight us on all of our things. We love to hear it. And thanks for listening, and have a good one.
It's so easy. He said, "Hiya, Barbie. Hi, Ken. Want to go for a ride? Sure, Ken. Hop in."